What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Read Reviews podcast. We are upgrading things weekly at this point, it seems like. So we got Dilly Dilly. Hit the Dilly Dilly cam. You got this? We're working through things. It's new, so give him a second.
Hustle.
Are you on now?
Yeah, I saw it.
Because we won't be able to see it up on the monitor there,
I'm
but
not there anymore.
So we got Dilly Dilly. Either where are you at? Where are you at, Dylan?
I'm on the fridge.
You're on the fridge. We got Dilly Dilly, the Dilly Dilly cam over there. We got our producer now. He was actually the one who was on the podcast last week. So we got several changes for you this week. So we have obviously him on behind the camera doing the producing and stuff. We got Cody back after his major car malfunction, and then now we got Mr. Gavin Brewbreaker
back.
He's back. Our first reoccurring guest.
Whoa!
And he's not even here to talk about the main thing that Cody and I want to talk about. He just helped me put in a dishwasher today.
Yeah, I haven't even watched it. You guys can't talk about it, actually.
No, we'll be talking about it a lot. You're gonna have to get over that soon, because this show is fucking dope. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
What do you think about the dishwasher, Gavin? Are you proud of what we did?
No, it looks awful.
It looks awful, but it functions. It functions perfectly.
I saw it on the way in. Looks wise, could be better, but it's functioning.
It's not made to be where we put it. So basically, what we did is my buddy Matt. He gave me a dishwasher. I've had it sitting in my basement. Actually, it was in my kitchen. Yeah, for free. Actually, it was in my kitchen
the whole time.
2 years.
Yeah.
We finally installed it today, and obviously, my kitchen isn't meant to have a dishwasher. It wasn't built for it. So we just took out a cabinet and slid the dishwasher right in there. Yeah. So obviously the trim of the cabinet and everything on there, it doesn't fit in there
and
super
it's
well.
Like cracked and
it's a little cracked from me ripping stuff apart. It's a little messed up.
There's
but
gaps on either side.
Yeah, but it's just a little touch up.
You don't have to hand wash your dishes anymore.
Oh my god, it was awesome. I put it to use immediately.
Yeah, you already.
All my dishes don't even fit in the damn thing. It was pretty great.
Wow. I was
There's still space.
Hooking up the water to it, I went to turn off his hotline, and it just didn't turn off all the way. So as I was trying to put on the new line, it was just squirting water underneath his sink for a good 20 seconds.
Yeah, you made me a little anxious because he's under the sink, and Gavin just keeps going, oh. He's like, oh, that's not good. And he's like, and you can't see anything that's happening. He's just saying, and Gavin's a plumber, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it to what you're saying, and if you're not telling me what's going on, I'm just gonna hope that it's fine. But yeah, he just keeps making noises and going. And he hits the Gavin. Oh boy! I'm like, dude, you're stressing me the fuck out right now.
Before I even took off the hose, I just shut the valve and turned it all the way to the left, and water starts squirting off the top of the quarter turn valve. It's just squirting, and then I'm like, oh shit! Then I take off the thing, and it's still squirting, and yeah.
So much squirting.
Apparently my water squirts a lot.
A lot of plumber talk, sounds like.
Cody, tell the people what happened with your car. It wasn't a major malfunction, right?
No.
It wasn't anything too crazy.
No.
We were worried. We thought it was a transmission thing because you said you couldn't put it in reverse.
Not a transmission thing, and it's just, it needed to go into the shop, and I knew it did, so it finally got in there, and it got the stuff taken care of that it needs to, and now it drives good.
Look at that. He's back in business.
Cody, that was very non-specific.
I know.
That was just as specific as you needed to be. You did.
There is 10,000 things that I can fix on it, and that's my next all my money right now is just going towards fixing up my car, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's it's drivable, but even then, I actually didn't drive it here because I don't
want to deal with it.
We need to right now.
Something else.
Mm-hmm.
I've got more other brake issues I got to get fixed, and so the less I drive it is better. My parents are not here right now, so I'm driving my mom's car.
You're house sitting again.
Yeah.
I cannot believe how often they're gone. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Very often they are traveling all the time. I don't know, to different places. They go on a lot of cruises too, but they're just doing, I think, just down in California, visiting family more than likely for my nephew.
Seems like what it usually is.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Something going on in California.
Yeah, see family, see my nephew.
Yeah.
Their grandchild.
Nephews are cool.
So they are.
Gavin ruptured it. Actually, yeah, since you guys were here last, Gavin ruptured his Achilles. So he's got a giant boot on. I don't think you can see it down below the table.
He showed it last time.
Oh, wait. Yeah, we do. I think
he lifted it up on the table.
Okay.
It's a
so it was ruptured last time? What did you come on it last time? That's right.
He didn't have the boot.
Yeah, he didn't have the boot. You were still in the
cast.
cast.
And I
That's what it was.
dropped it on the table.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry, audio guys.
That was at the downtown.
But he's walking now and he's not working, so he's staying at his sister's who have his nephews there. So Gavin's got a whole bunch going on too.
She's staying home. I can now confidently live back in my house because I can walk. doing the thing with crutches, like, if I wanted to take this beer and go downstairs with crutches, it's like, how do you...
You need a beer belt. You need one of those beer belts.
Yeah, it's like, how do you do
the
that?
Sixers. Yeah.
Like, one day I was at John's, and I live in the basement, so I'm like, hey, John, like, I made this ramen for myself, but I can't bring it down the stairs from you, so can you bring it downstairs? And also, like, hey, I'm not going to be able to bring the bowl back up, so, like...
Damn, dude, you're making John your bitch. So what we're gonna do today is we're finally back actually talking about some stuff because Cody and I have watched something specific, and then I watched a little bit of something with Gavin today too. So what we're gonna do is just kind of start with the thing that Gavin and I watched.
Ooh.
And then kind of move into what Cody and I watched. Gavin's a kind of a little bitch. He has not watched the show that Cody and I have watched.
Yeah.
Also, Cody just watched most of it today, right?
I didn't.
I was gonna you watched one episode and then maybe like 4 today.
3 or 4 today.
Yeah.
Right before getting.
Yeah.
If you had told me like 3 days ago, I could have freaking binge watched.
Well, I wasn't planning to have you on the podcast. I was just planning on having. I was expecting the dishwasher thing to take way longer.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that's why I told Cody, come over at like 6 because usually we do it like 4 or 5 or something like that.
Gotcha.
But I told him a little later because I was just assuming that it would take a while, but it was actually done way early, and then we had time to watch Vinland Saga.
Yep.
Vinland Saga. Gavin, if you remember from last time, if you watched, he's our anime nerd. He's our
certified.
Yeah, you're our biggest anime nerd friend, probably, right? In our like core group.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So Gavin's the dude that watches the most anime, knows the most anime. So he recommended this anime called Vinland Saga to me because I fucking love Viking stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a little bit later when we talk about the next show. But this is an anime about Gavin. Give him the synopsis of Vinland Saga. What is it? What's it about?
So it's about the main character. His name is Thors, and
their names are so dumb.
Thors.
There's Thors, Thorin.
Yeah, is his son.
All right.
What are the other Thor? There's
like, I don't know jack shit really. I only know that it's a Viking thing, so it's like.
Oh, you know what it is though?
That's all. It's an anime Vikings.
Yeah.
I think it's just Thors and Thorin.
Oh, okay. I thought there was other ones.
I don't think so. But Thor's super dope, freaking Viking dude, like leader of the army. Deserts, like pretends to pretty much die, and then goes and lives off in Iceland by himself and like raises his family because he's done with being a warrior. And then
scarred from battle,
of course.
I mean, I don't want to spoil too much because we're about to watch.
Just the general synopsis.
But it's pretty much gonna follow Thorin, the son, like through his adventures. And it goes through like historical like battles of like what happened, like the Vikings invading England and England fighting back and this and that. And it's like a big war thing and a lot of cool things happen. I was kind of pissed.
Yeah.
Reed had the shower and did all pretty for the podcast, but the next episode that
I didn't want to be stanking up the basement more while we were podcasting. It's okay while we're watching anime.
Yeah.
Because that's normal. You should be a stank ass bitch on the couch watching anime.
Yep.
But when you're doing the podcast, you got to be set up. You got to be a little more clumpy.
Pretty much it's about freaking Vikings, and it has like, it's one of the cooler animes I've watched, and it's also super gory and like super. If you've seen Attack on Titan, like kind of that same vibe,
I have.
Where people are dying and getting their heads cut off. You don't know who's gonna die or when, and like they have like secret motives and a lot of like Game of Thrones-y like little freaking plot lines and like why the fuck is this guy doing this?
Political intrigue.
Yeah, political bullshit. And it's
Dylan, can you pull up an image of Vinland Saga?
It's also not very anime.
Just show it on there. Show them what it looks like. Maybe just a cover photo or something.
Which I think is your biggest gripe about anime is being too woo-woo.
Yeah, so what I was going to go into next here is that my thing with anime. Anime has really cool action. Some of the animes have fucking awesome stories. So that's kind of an idea of what it looks like there. But they have these awesome stories. I'm actually feeling like I might not want to look at that. I feel like I'm seeing spoilers.
Yeah,
but it's okay. I don't care that much. Thanks, Dilly. Anime has really awesome action, really awesome stories sometimes, but the anime of it I just don't like all the noises and the Dragon Ball Z like kind of description where somebody takes 3 episodes to punch somebody because they're inner monologuing the whole time, and I just hate that shit.
They have so much weird anime culture things that you just get used to, or like eventually you start finding funny. Like freaking some guy sees a girl naked and he has like blood squirting out of his nose. and he goes like flying 20 feet away. So
that's the anime shit, and I hate that stuff. It's just weird. It's just weird. It puts me off.
Those ones.
So I've only watched a couple of animes. I've watched Attack on Titan. I've watched One Punch Man. One Punch.
One Punch is very
One Punch
anime culture, but it's like
it is
funnier.
But it's funny, so I think it works a little
They're
bit
like
better.
kind of making fun of anime culture, so
There's,
it's like more on.
And it's short. There's only 2 or 3 seasons or whatever, and they're like 20 episodes. There's not very much.
There hasn't been a new season of that for like 7 years, 6 years.
So I've watched Attack on Titan, One Punch. What's the other big anime? I've watched like 4 or 5 seasons of My Hero Academia because that show has awesome action.
Did you watch?
That one's very anime.
I'm not gonna even know the name of it. Gavin knows.
Okay, so I've only watched a few animes, and like I said, I like the action, I like the stories.
Naruto?
No,
definitely not that. But yeah, so Gavin thought he'd recommend this one to me because it's not as anime-y, and you're right.
Yeah,
they go hard on the piano. They're always playing a piano in this show.
He's mentioned it like 5 times.
Well, because it's always playing. It's always like some deep emotional thing, and you see that he does like kind of the anime deadpan thing, and then it goes, dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, why is it so dramatic, dude? What's going on here?
I'll show you guys later, but there's a freaking anime in general has some like really cool music, and especially their intros can go fucking hard.
Yeah.
There's this new one. Not even recommending you watch it. You will not like it, but it's called The Dan Dan, and they have the
Duran.
Duran.
Bo 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 bo.
They have the freaking catchiest intro I've ever heard, and it's all in Japanese even, and I still think I could still want to sing it every time it's on.
Are you wanting to play a trailer for it, Dylan? What's going on there?
Universal language.
Just having it handy if you wanted to take a peek.
Yeah, play maybe like skip into the middle of it and maybe play like 5 to 10 seconds of it.
On the battlefield, the weak perish first. Weak ones like you. I believe that a true warrior does not need a sword.
We just
A warrior doesn't need a sword.
All right, you can cut it off.
That
We don't
can't
have to do too much of it, but that's kind of an idea of what it looks like.
What are your thoughts on what you've seen 3 episodes so far?
Good. I told you I had watched the first episode before, but I was like half asleep. I watched it at like 1:30 in the morning.
It's definitely you gotta kind of pay attention.
Yeah, you gotta.
What's going on?
Yeah, and so it seems like it's pretty story heavy. And now that we're 3 episodes in, I'm a lot more hooked in. Basically, what's happened in the show is the main character it's Thor's and Thorin. Thorfinn.
Yeah.
Thor's the main character guy, super badass opening action scene.
Thor's is Thor the plural?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's
Thor
one
with an
dude.
S. Yeah, he's only one guy though. He's not multiple Thors. But the opening scene is this sick ass battle scene where he's basically jumping from ship to ship, jumping from Viking ship to Viking ship, and just fucking up these dudes, and it's pretty sick. And I'm like,
He's
okay,
killing like
this
30 people,
Yeah.
and like he like takes his sword and like cuts down a master.
And so
shit.
Like Levi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So far from what I've seen, there's no supernatural shit in this either. So he's just God mode, dope ass, regular fighting battle dude. So he fucks up everybody there. He goes to this kind of little island thing and leaves the army, fakes his death, like Gavin was saying. Has his couple of kids, raises this tribe. Has a couple of you kind of get to know the people in the city, the little tiny town village that they live in. Build a little bit of backstory, and then his buddy that he's with in the beginning of the show ends up showing up on his doorstep, basically, I guess on his shore, and saying, "Hey."
That was a different guy, but yeah.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's blonde and looking the dude with the square face.
Yeah.
The dude who looks exactly like Dylan.
Yeah, exactly. 1 for 1.
Don't give me that look. He doesn't look anything like Dylan.
No.
But so they kind of establish all that, and the guy comes in there and he recruits him, and then he decides like, hey, I want to kill this guy, and then they end up having to go into battle, and they get blocked off, and there's kind of a little attack on him, a little ambush, and we watch that fight, and it cuts off in the middle of the fight, which is a wild cliffhanger.
Suspense.
That's it. But it's a middle of a fight. Like, you don't usually middle of a fight do a cliffhanger. It's
That's
like,
a bold
battle
cliffhanger.
just ended. Yeah, it's a bold cliffhanger.
Whole next episode is literally the whole fight. Like,
God damn it. So that'd be a really fun
It's
one.
like
What I'm watching anime
yeah,
for.
it's
just
like
to
a
see some action.
20-minute fight episode that has like, yeah. I'm really excited. I don't know how true or actually factual these are, but it seems like they really follow history of like, hey, this is like a major battle that happened in London. This is the year, because they'll like open a scene, they'll do the year and the time and the place and everything, and they'll have like the London Bridge like falling down. They literally have that battle scene where there's like a giant bridge and and they have like so many of those. I'm curious how actual historically correct it is, but it makes it seem a little bit cooler.
I'm guessing it probably is. So
Magic mushrooms.
Oh yeah, that magic mushrooms is pretty funny. But basically, Vikings would eat magic mushrooms before they go into battle and fuck people up. But and they show the dude doing that a little bit. But
They do that in the Northman. Where
they do?
They do some psychedelic shit.
Yeah.
For sure.
What was really cool is that they ended up showing a map, which I love in shows.
Oh,
It's so nice for an original show that nobody's seen. You're starting something completely new.
Anime
They showed us a map of the world and where they were sailing to and like where they were going during it, so you can kind of get an idea of where things are. Like, for example, like if you're talking about Lord of the Rings or something, and you're somebody who's watching it for the first time, you have no concept of anything. And even if you're watching the movies, it doesn't like lay out kind of where everything is. You have to like be somebody who dives in a little bit deeper into YouTube videos or reading the books or just kind of Googling stuff or reading, I don't know, some other stuff about Lord of the Rings. And then you can kind of get a layout of the map. I love that this actually brought up a map and showed me where they were in
They'll even do like little
Iceland.
arrows and everything. Yeah.
They were in Iceland and they showed them that they were sailing to these little islands before they were getting to their destination, which was like Norway or something like that.
Yeah.
I think is where they're going. Or is it England? No, they're going to Norway, I think, because they was talking about the King of Norway.
Yeah. What the Scandinavian, they called it something like that. Whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
So, and it showed where they were going there. So I was like, oh, that's dope for only three episodes in of a show that has 20-minute episodes.
Yeah.
It's a lot better world building, so I can kind of understand where I'm at and what's going on. But again, it's only been 3 20-minute episodes, so it's not like we're that deep into
One
it.
freaking episode of Dune.
How many episodes?
20.
And how many seasons?
It's new, right?
2.
Oh, there's 2 seasons.
2
okay.
seasons?
Have you watched both?
No.
Oh, you haven't? You're making me watch the show and you haven't even watched it.
Dude, that's pretty lame.
Yeah, it's kind of gay.
So you get
Kind of gay.
you get a first season, and then you get a time skip, and then it's a second season. So they're like very, very
fucking House of the Dragon.
different seasons and very different like moods and everything. So they're not really. It's almost like watching like 2 different stories, but I don't know. It's the same.
I'm excited. I'm definitely going to watch more now that I finished the show that we're about to talk about.
I think if you watch the next episode, you'll be like, fucking.
Guy really gets into action.
Yeah.
You said it's your favorite episode of it.
That's what everyone says, though.
Yeah. Once you get 40 episodes in, it gets really good.
Yeah, it takes like 10 hours for it to get good.
Dylan, I got another request for you. If you could pull up maybe the synopsis of the episodes of the next thing that we're talking about here. If you could just do a Google search.
I even was reading after I watched every episode, made sure to like even read recaps to be like,
It's so much.
Well, it's a lot. And
by the way, sorry, what we're talking about is Dune Prophecy. It's the Dune show on HBO. That's what we're going to be talking about here. I know I was kind of leading on, teasing a little bit, but yeah, go ahead, Cody.
I literally just watched like 3 or 4 episodes and then drove right here after it. The last episode I have not watched because it's the longest one at like an hour 20.
They're long.
Had
They're
like
long.
an extra 20 minutes, and I was like, I don't. Oh wait, I'll just wait. I've seen a good chunk of it. Nice.
You could have watched 4
Yeah,
episodes.
it's just to help me
Vinland Saga.
remember because I've watched. I've been watching these over the course of the last week or so. I think I actually ended up binging it in like 3 days, and they're all hour-plus long episodes. There's only 6, but they're all hour-plus long.
Is that the whole season?
That's the whole season.
That's all that's out right now.
And I won't go into if we think there's going to be a second one or not because I don't want to spoil stuff for Cody. But
I feel like I could almost answer it maybe that
you probably
question already.
Yeah.
Because they'll probably do another.
Basically, the idea of this show, if you have seen, so Cody and I, obviously, we fucking love Dune. I think we talked about it almost every episode. But there is an HBO show that came out. Dude. I don't know how long ago it came out. Could you look up when it came out?
It was recently.
It
just finished.
Yeah, it was only a couple months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Dune Prophecy.
Real estate.
God,
it's so nice having a Jamie.
It is pretty nice.
Dude, that's
What do
really
we got?
copyrighted.
December 17th, go back up to the top.
Joe Rogan
Was that what
says
it was?
he's-
November 17th. Yeah, so it's been out for 2 months, 3 months almost. And we just got to it a little bit late. My buddy Matt, who we were talking about earlier, has been telling me to watch the show like the whole time, and he was watching. I was like, dude, I don't want to watch another one of these and all this stuff, and I was bitching. And
He's talked about it a lot.
he has talked about it a lot.
did.
But then I found out it was HBO, and we went over this a lot with the Penguin and how like we were all like kind of like the Penguin. They're making a spin-off show of that for the Batman. What the fuck is that? And everything's different. And then you find out that it's HBO. Same thing with The Last of Us. You're like, oh, they're gonna make another adaptation, but it's HBO. You're like, oh, okay, this is gonna be good then.
Okay, hot take though.
No,
HBO's doing
Gavin?
the new Harry Potter thing. Is it going to be good?
They have not let me down
know.
ever. So I would lean towards yes, but you never know until it comes out.
And I can't even agree with they haven't let me down ever with how House of the Dragon has been. But that's like
That's not a letdown though. It's just
For me-
not great.
For me, it is a little bit of a letdown.
I guess that's true for the expectations you have.
because of these other shows I've watched now, like Dune Prophecy and the Penguin, where I'm like, okay, well,
you can do this.
Yeah, what the fuck? These are really...
What a fuck, dude.
I had high hopes. I guess maybe it's a little bit of the expectations. I had high hopes for House of the Dragon, and maybe a little bit too high. So if it didn't hit all the marks, I was going to be pretty harsh on it.
Yeah.
These shows I go in with like not much to go off of, and I'm like, I just know I like the property, and I do like the world that it's in, so let's go for it. And then all of a sudden, I'm actually... Every episode with Dune, it's like... It's not as good. Like Penguin, like I think I can say it's like
Penguin's top tier.
It's like
such a flawless like one season.
Yeah, it's such a good.
You watch the whole thing. Right?
Yeah, I almost hope if there's another season, it's like not the Penguin. It's like just like another villain, and they just can like completely
That'd be cool.
leave it like as a mini series because that contained story is like perfect.
Yeah, you
don't
just
touch
want
it.
The same like qualities of that show, but like a new thing.
Something new. Maybe
you don't have to stretch out character stories where they start to get bad because you're like forcing things.
And so
you don't want to go too long.
With the Penguin being just one of these things where it was like, okay, the story was good from the get go. Dune, I think it's a little slower pace at the start, and then it definitely starts to pick up more. It's hard for me to say, like, I think Penguin you can recommend to anyone, even if you don't give a fuck about Batman. It's just a straight up good ass show.
It has like no Batman.
And Batman doesn't matter. Dune Prophecy, a little harder to recommend unless you're like kind of into Dune already. Yeah, because it's pretty. They go heavy into a lot of the theme,
whole
like
intro,
like the universe that we haven't even touched on in the movies is going like full force into in this show where it's like, yeah, if you don't know what they're saying or you can't catch like some of the concepts of like the sci-fi-ness, it definitely goes over your head.
Yeah,
it's like,
and that was something I was wanting to say before we got like actually into the episodes is kind of give you an idea because it's not a very easy jump in if you haven't watched the Dune movies and you don't know anything about it because basically what it is, if you know what the Dune movies is, I'm going to explain this as if you do. Basically, this show takes place 10,000 years before Dune, the movies, before Paul was born. I think
Timothy
is what they say.
Chalamet is Paul. It's 10,000 years before he even exists.
Yeah, and it's about the Bene Gesserit, which are basically like the superpowered women, tribe, culture, clan people,
and it's like,
ladies.
It's like pre.
And them establishing.
It's like pre Bene Gesserit. Like that word doesn't even exist yet.
Yeah, they haven't said it in the show, which I didn't realize.
It's the sisterhood.
So it's like them making their cult.
This is them. Like,
that's exactly
like
what
you are really seeing the creation of like.
Gotcha.
All the inner workings of like how is it possible for this like what feels like almost a when you watch the show it's like a cult.
It is a cult. It's not
of women that are pulling all the strings. It's like how are they actually doing that? It's like this show actually does a really good job of showing you every line of like this info got to here, this person said this to them, and then they said this lie or this rumor or they just had this influence, and it's like man, they're really like pulling all the strings of every other person. Every time you think someone like had a good plan, they immediately follow up. Oh no, actually it was one of the sisters.
There's no loyalty in this. So the way I want to go about this, just kind of ease into it, is simply just Cody. What are your overall thoughts of the 5 episodes you've watched of the show, just as a whole, quick little kind of rundown? Bless you.
Thanks.
Oh my God, murder that cat.
I think it's really good as a fan of Dune who loves Dune. This is awesome. It's like it is actually what I wanted. More of the cool sci-fi, the tech, the world, the universe. More of the like, it's supernatural is like the wrong word, but there's elements that are
unique.
Yeah,
it's original
because it's all of the like. The human elements versus the thinking machines or AI kind of concepts.
I love that they call them that.
But then there's also the really large like religious aspects concerning worms, things in Arrakis, kind of just power in general. And I just love, I think, the merging of all of those things into one big story that's constantly like... I've already seen some comments when I looked some stuff up about theories of like... And it might get explained in the last episode, but like... Bit of spoilers, mild, but like I don't want to say too much if people want to watch. There's just like certain scenes where like visions or premonitions or like drawings are happening, specifically drawings, and something that is seen in these is like the more it happens, the more you see some of these visions, the more you're just like, man, what is happening? And I feel like I'm starting to connect things And in the bigger picture of like the movies and the show, it's like, oh, this is really cool. Like there's a lot happening.
It's cool.
There's a like so
pretty cool.
it's definitely very big picture though, like because there's so many different things with the timelines and talking with like all the Reverend Mothers of the past or the future or now or then or who is it? And it's like
it's a deep show.
Yeah.
I think what we should do here, so Cody and I can talk a little bit, and it'll just be kind of up to Gavin, and we'll do a spoiler free in a spoiler section. And if you want to leave, if you care about it, you can. Okay, so if you don't care, we'll just do a little quick spoiler free with our overall thoughts, like Cody just did. So I'll do mine, and then we're just going to go into full spoilers, and I want to be able to talk about everything because this show is fucking cool, and I've been waiting to talk to people about it. I kind of wanted to see if I could have Matt on, but there's
a lot of details that have
there's
to
a
be
lot,
deciphered.
This show is dope. HBO really knows what they're doing. Their world building, their cities are so fucking cool. The visuals of so do you remember? This is a very specific thing. I don't know if you might actually remember it, but when they're giant fucking worm-looking ships, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When it comes out of hyperspace, and when it starts to come, it just shows all the universe bending, and it shows the stars spinning around it, and it folding, and like kind of how they travel through space. I was like, that is such a cool effect for space travel that I've never seen before in something.
I'm really impressed with their usage of like CGI and stuff because it's not much, but when they do use it, it's like really good, and it's just like trying to convey a big ass city or something, but it generally looks like pretty good every time. Where I'm like, nice, okay, this looks good. I like this. I like how it feels. It feels big. It feels like Dune. You're also seeing a lot of Dune you haven't seen before, like different planets and shit. Like you're not on Arrakis finally or Getty Prime. So it's kind of nice to be in these different areas that are still really cool looking, I think.
Yeah. So this show pretty much from every aspect, which is I think why HBO is great. Like the plot line, the actors, the performances, the sets, everything is awesome, and you get really involved in the world very quickly. like you said, it's a bit of a slow burn, and in the beginning, it's like, oh, episode 1, it's like, oh, okay. And episode 2, you're like, all right. And then episode 3, you're like, oh shit, okay, stuff is happening.
I still think the pacing is done really well, where it's like, if you're not into it after the first couple episodes, might not be your thing. But if you keep going, I don't see how you're not going to finish it because of it. Like every episode does tend to end off on another note of like, damn, all right, that's a pretty big piece of info. Like, holy shit.
The cliffhangers in this thing, like they did great. They did a great job.
The last one I just ended off on was a pretty big like, oh, okay.
Let's go into spoilers now. I got my general thoughts. We got Cody's general thoughts. What are you? I don't remember what the end of episode 5 is. It's always hard because I feel like things just blend together.
Especially when you binge them.
Yeah.
So
I watched them in
the very last thing is the blood of Desmond
Hart is
finally got to the sisterhood for the sister to analyze.
Oh yeah,
and as they're like Atreides, Harkonnen, Beak, and then there's like it's doing the same, like they're cutting to other people talking about it, and they're like, it was.
I love that.
They editing. Were like, it was someone within the sisterhood, and then it shows Tula literally like, oh, you're like,
and the anime,
and knowing, and then knowing things that happened prior, you see flashbacks of this girl's life. Specifically what she's done to a specific family and what she did right prior, and we left off on and being like
HBO knows how to be so fucked up with stuff, dude.
It's like we're in full spoilers already, but I still am gonna hold back some details of just trying to, but like knowing the children, like who the child is, and knowing like all the lineages and some of those things now, and like connecting the dots is like, oh fuck, there's a lot going on here. There's so many plot lines happening with...
Dude, oh wait, I'm not going to say that. Yeah. Because I can't remember what episode that was in. But
I wish I could have finished.
It gets so cool, and there's such plot twist stuff, because it's like, you think these things... Because it's a weird mix of... Like you said, I don't know if you can call it supernatural, because technically they call it evolution, but like their powers that they have.
People have straight up powers.
Yeah, they have powers, but they call it evolution, so it's like it's supposed to be a biological thing that you adapt in there.
It's a sci-fi way of explaining powers.
Exactly, yeah. They have powers, they're relatively subtle powers, other than the controlling thing. That one's pretty...
You're right, I do like the idea that like it's the furtherment of human genetics almost, is they're getting so good at knowing the human body and the form that they're furthering humans in general.
Basically,
have,
the Bene
powers.
Gesserit, and you might know because you've seen the movies, but they've just figured out how to utilize their body and manipulate things, and they can feel themselves on a molecular level, I think is basically what they say. So they can like fight off diseases. They can use certain small amounts of telepathy. They can they can know when people are lying or telling the truth based on like really intense studying of people and how they move and their sweat. And the way they show that in the show when they're like zooming in on people's like eyes twitching or like a little sweat dropping down or like their lip moving. I like how they edit that.
Weird question.
Yeah.
You know, in the Dune movies, I think it's the Baron, the big fat.
The Baron Harkonnen.
Yes.
Do they explain how he flies? Because me
It's
and Matt
just
were
technology.
watching it and we were so confused. Like,
No,
why
I
does
think
he
it's-
just like float?
I think
for
it's-
no reason.
It's
It
just
is
tech. It's just
literally
something
just-
that he wears. It's a suit that he wears.
It's
Yeah.
the stuff that he has on him or whatever
Okay.
does that for him.
Same reason
I
in
don't know,
2 when they turn on their anti-gravity things and they float up the rock in the very
I
beginning.
was super because
It's
he's
just technology.
This big fat dude with a long cloak, and he just like floats, and he's like going down the hallway. Matt literally thought he had like 20-foot long legs. I'm like, no, I think he's just
No, God damn it, man.
I wish it was that. That'd be way.
No, in the book,
Way
in the book they describe that a little bit more and why it's like that. He's too fat to walk. He can't walk.
Yeah,
So
I
he
think
has
he-
the hover
okay.
Yeah,
thing.
he's just like
Yeah.
so gross and decrepit
Yeah.
and just nasty. He can't
Dude,
even
he
support
floats.
himself.
Me and Matt watched the freaking 1882
Mm-hmm.
version of Dune,
Oh,
and he
God.
floats in
Oh,
that
yeah.
as well.
Dude, he fucking.
Fucking hilarious.
He,
Oh, you seen it?
I've seen that clip. I know that clip. He,
Have you seen the freaking? There's like a beast. We thought it was the desert or the witch people, but it's like a giant worm thing in a vat of
oh, those
water.
are the space trap. Those are the.
It looked like a giant freaking grub.
The
It looked-
Mentats?
No. It's,
What are you talking
those
about?
are the actual things. So, what are they called? Like those are. What are they actually called?
What?
The space something. Like those are the things actually doing space travel. They have to be kept there. I think it's. I don't
Mentats.
know. No, mentats are like the.
They're the
smart-
calculator people.
Yeah,
that,
not them. These are like
Oh.
giant. They look like alien grubs
Yeah.
that are held
looks like
in spice containers, kind of like in the show, like they did to the girl. She puts her in the thing
Oh.
and puts her in. That's the first thing I thought of watching the show.
Why
You
do I
haven't
not
seen
remember
it, but
this?
I thought of that version's thing, and it's they have to stay in a spice container to stay alive. Like they.
It looks like a giant bot shark, but it's like a big aquarium, and it's
It's
just
weird
this
as
fucking
Sounds
bug
horrifying.
thing, and you just like, and it's.
But they have to stay in spice in order to live. They are like addicted to it to the point of like withdrawal would kill them. But they are so in it. Spice is like the drug that lets them see. Like it's what gives them prescience and like seeing the future or the past.
Yeah.
So that's the only way they know how to go through. Like the safest path to get through interstellar travel is they can see ahead in time to know the safest route that gets
they
you
don't
there.
run into
so you don't
something.
fuck something
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, you don't like unbend into
Yeah.
freaking ash.
That's
the
the kind of
Dune-
shit though that they
Dune
don't.
Lore's cool.
They don't like
Yeah.
that's so hard to explain in a
It is.
movie. So the David Lynch version was just like, just put this in.
Yeah, just put a slug in here.
It looks
Here we go.
crazy, and people who read the book will probably figure it out. Or
Honestly,
something.
though, the old version had like monologues before you started seeing it. It really like explained better than.
Oh,
the-
some exposition dumps.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
heavy.
even more so.
You need that in a book
heavy.
like that.
Yeah, and it would do it more so than like. Obviously, the new movies, you don't want that. You just want them to learn it. But I fucking figured out things I didn't know before about the Dune universe from that stupid old movie. That I don't know. It was interesting in some ways.
Bringing it back a little bit to what I was explaining before. It's cool that they have like the superpower stuff, but the whole point of the Dune universe and like post the Machine Wars, they call them Machine Wars or the
Yeah.
Thinking Machine Wars, or something like
The
that.
Machine Wars.
Basically, they create this is supposed to be in our universe, just tens of thousands of years in the future. And humans created AI. They had a war with AI. They ended up beating them, and they beat AI. AI is called Thinking Machines in Dune. And it's really cool because they have like the evolution of the Bene Gesserit, like I was saying. So they have like this kind of supernatural aspect, and then they have like these quote unquote thinking machines or AI that can also do other things. And like I said, I'm not going to spoil it because I don't know if it happens there, but like things just escalate so much with the thinking machines and how they get involved in the show. And it's crazy because you don't know like what's supernatural or what's people using AI when they're illegally or like how it goes about. And it's so cool when you come to kind of the climax or the ending of the show and how things end up getting explained. And it's really dope.
I feel like it was also I had to kind of readjust how I was thinking about the show, not realizing like, oh, this is how they created all the powers that are in the movies. Like, it feels very normal once you adjust to the movies where you're like, oh yeah, these Bene Gesserit just do crazy, like, fucking power shit. They're
everywhere.
They're everywhere. They're some of the most overpowered people in the universe.
Yeah.
This is the creation of that. So you actually have to see them, like, go through a lot of the hoops of, like, establishing power and dominance in a world that had to have at some point had people be like, fuck this.
Yeah.
We don't need these people who are truth sayers going around telling us what the truth is.
Which they do in the show.
Like, that's...
But then they come back.
I was really weirded out that the Bene Gesserit were on Arrakis, like, in the tribes, hiding with the sand people.
Well, some of the Fremen are Bene Gesserits. In the show, one of the Bene Gesserits is a Fremen, and she like has conflicting ideals with the Bene Gesserits, but she is one, and so she is a Fremen and a Bene Gesserit. The Bene Gesserit, they're very cult-like, so like it's supposed to be sisters above all, but like this other one is very like the Fremen girl.
So you have like Christianity and then like a Mormon over here, and they're a little bit different.
No, they're all under the Bene Gesserit, but like if there's somebody in the cult who doesn't agree with what the cult's saying, or like won't go across certain lines.
They establish pretty early too. There's a character, one of the sisters, like the first episode establishes, one sister has this ideal, the other has this ideal. We're gonna go this route because, well, this one took care of this one. So we're gonna just go this route.
Yeah, value just takes control over everything.
So like there was one that held traditional values, saying like, no, we do seek the truth. We are here to help for the Imperium, and that is our goal. And the others were like, yeah, but we're gonna fade to non-existence if we actually don't do something ourselves. We're gonna do something.
Gotcha.
And now the Bene Gesserit exist, and it's like, oh shit. The only way that you can keep doing this is you're watching the show develop like. There's two sisters at the helm who are just fucking.
I didn't realize it was
at the helm of everything.
I didn't realize Tula was Tula from the flashbacks until like the second episode or beginning of the third one or something. I was just stupid and I didn't realize. I thought she was just some other lady that she was talking about. I just wasn't picking up on it because I'm dumb.
Well, they do a pretty good job too of making you think like there's definitely a power dynamic between the sisters. One sister is a much more dominant,
alpha,
gets it done.
Alpha.
Yeah, the complete alpha. While the other is. You know, she sits in the background, is more quiet, and, you know, just more reserved. But then the show goes on, and you're like, that's just how she shows people who she is.
Yeah.
That's her exterior. And she is so good at showing people that that's what I want you to think. Because I'm actually probably the most lethal person in the room. Like, the one who's more quiet will get shit done more than the other, actually.
Dude, when she starts freaking out when all the girls, she loses control of them when they're drawing the pictures, I'm like, I'm like getting anxious too. It's so awesome to see the dynamic because you think of the Bene Gesserit when you think of them in the movies because they're not like the main characters. I guess they are because Jessica and Paul are like, you know, they are all of that. Anyways, I won't dive into that. But you think of them as these omnipotent people that have control over the whole galaxy. If you know anything about Dune, you know that the Bene Gesserit are like creating Paul, and it's like a foreseen thing in the future. And watching them here and thinking that they're these all-powerful people and seeing that they're just human and that they're making all these fucking mistakes. And Valia, is her name Valia?
Yes.
Yeah, Valia. Valia, whatever.
Valia.
But seeing that pretty much everything that she does, thanks Dilly, appreciate that thumbs up. Pretty much everything she does is motivated just by the Atreides killing her brother. Like that is created her whole personality and everything that she's doing and everything that she wants.
That, and I do think there's like
and her family hating her.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's key, and I really like the dynamic. Was also shout out the dude who's Robert Baratheon in Game of Thrones. He's in the show. That's her fucking
uncle, the great uncle, dude. That's Robert Baratheon.
That's Robert Baratheon.
He looks horrible.
Also,
holy shit.
Also, the other, the little kid in the forest scene, the flashback forest scene, the little kid who gets the way. Also, House of the Dragon, the young Lord guy.
Oh, the one who talks shit.
Like we had the big scene with Damon there.
With Damon, yeah.
He's also.
I love that HBO keeps
they definitely have a listing where they're like, he's good for that, he's good for that, that works.
They're already like probably similar writers doing like directing or something on.
HBO's got their teams. That
teams at least.
Yeah, so they definitely have shit like that.
Yeah, it's fucking dope, and I love. I totally lost my train of thought. I was trying to go down somewhere, but I totally.
How's the acting? Like, are all the actors freaking spot on?
It's all pretty great.
I have definitely one that I don't like.
Yeah.
Who?
The girl, Inez.
What girl?
Nez, the daughter of the emperor.
Oh yeah, I think her character sucks.
She sucks.
she's so damsel in distress, but wannabe badass girl boss kind of thing, and it's like I don't really care about what's happening with you and your swordsman lover. And
I don't think it's not that she's like a bad actress. I just think she doesn't have much.
I don't think it's not a good character thing. It's just like she just feels like an extra thing. And there's in a show that's so exposition and lore heavy with so much going on and so much explanation. Having a character like that, it just stands out. You're like, I don't care what you're doing. Let me get to these 7 other stories that are happening.
It also feels like she hasn't done anything yet either.
No.
Right? Like, yet everyone else has actually done something. Even her brother finally did something for once.
That's cool. So what are you talking about? I want to make sure it's not the spoiler
brother,
thing.
at least he found the...
Yes.
In the dude's locker, he found the plans.
I love that he just instantly is like...
Yeah, he's like, yo, you're fucked.
Yeah,
you're so gone. So he finally made something happen with his dumbass and was like... Okay, he has worth. He figured that out, and the girl doesn't do jack shit.
So have you seen them go to the club? Where the Fremen Bene Gesserit is?
The
Fremen Truthsayer?
So yeah, they go there.
That whole scene?
Yeah, the dude shows up and then shields up and everything blows up.
That was a sick scene.
Yeah,
I thought that was dope too.
That was cool.
I thought that was awesome.
And I knew it had to come back to probably like, it makes sense the chick goes back to the sisters, and she's like... So I blew up all my shit.
Decade.
And now what? And she's like, well, good job. Like, okay, yeah, that's like my
now we move forward.
Life.
Now to the next step.
My whole life just gone. And
then they
just...
they just send her back to Arrakis.
She's like, well, it wasn't for nothing.
Good job, bud.
Yeah, she's like, no, it wasn't for nothing.
Basically, this lady was like an undercover spy plant, creating this whole underground rebellion and everything, and like trying to get close and plan these certain things. Had a whole bar and like a spice trade, illegal underground drug place and everything. And then they blow it up, and then the Mother Superior is what the leader of the Bene Gesserits is called.
Nice.
I should just call them the Truthsayers, because that's not what they're called yet. But they just blow up her bar place, and then the leader's just like, all right, you're going to go back to Arrakis. And she's like, what?
The whole show is just consistently
What's up, Blair?
The top sister, like the main sister, every person she talks to, she's just gaslighting. Out of her fucking ears, nose, mouth, and ass, everywhere. She's gaslighting every person she talks to. And
everybody's gaslighting everybody. Yeah. Everybody's portraying everybody in some aspect. Even Tula and Valia. Always like her. Fuck, I can't. It's so hard. I can't remember what has happened in the 6th episode or not, so I don't want to just say things.
It's a long one.
But there's just so much that happens, and it's just insane. One of my other roommates is down here checking out our 6th setup we got. Say hi, Blair.
Hey, we said hi on the Dill Cam.
Oh, did you? Nice.
All right.
We're going to have to set that up so we can see what's happening over there so we know when you do stuff.
We're going to have a live audience.
Yeah, that's the next step. Yeah, that's the next step.
YouTube, if you stream it to YouTube, you can have the comments on the TV. As you're streaming.
Well, we can always just close that too. Yeah. But nobody's going to be watching it yet. But
I will.
Yeah.
Dylan freaking...
Sorry, Dylan. I didn't mean to call you nobody.
Hey.
But boom, roasted. Yeah, I highly recommend the show. Gavin, you should go watch the show because I knew I was gonna like it.
Anime.
Yeah, anime gay boy.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna like it. I knew I was gonna kind of get into it, but I wasn't expecting to get quite as sucked into it as I did. And HBO is just the best. I'm going to watch every HBO thing that comes out. But so now I'm excited for Harry Potter. I changed my mind. It's going to be great.
I'm not very excited. I don't know why they couldn't have gone down a different storyline.
Isn't it just recreating the movies?
It's the kids
or
going.
The books?
It's Harry Potter going to Hogwarts in the same exact 7 books that we've already seen. And what the fuck?
He's pulling up the slug thing that we were talking about.
Look up.
I just don't get. I feel like Warner Brothers did such a good job with Harry Potter already, and the actors all fit perfectly and this and that, especially with the last 5 films. And I don't get how you're going to remake it to be significantly better than what it was.
Yeah, that does seem dumb. They should do The Cursed Child or whatever, a new story or anything. I don't know. It's again that I talk to Cody about pretty much every week is I just hate how they are just remaking things. The latest clip that I just posted was look at that little boy.
You could even do what is Harry Potter doing after he graduates? Is there any other Death Eaters going around? What is he doing?
I don't blame them for being go for the Harry Potter IP, but to just straight up be like, we're literally just doing the books.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's ridiculous.
I feel like it's a little too soon. I don't know.
And like, you can read the books. That story's already told, and then they told it again in movie form, and now
they did it well.
And they did it well. And now you're just gonna get it in TV form. And like, how are they gonna do it with like? Are they gonna change actors as Harry grows up each time, or are they gonna freaking space this out? 9 years, 10 years.
They're smart enough to know that people will watch no matter what.
I bet they'll space it out. I don't know, dude. That stuff isn't always working out anymore.
Well, how many?
Which I like.
You can't be Amazon and put $1 billion into your show.
Yeah.
I think that might be the mistake at times. Is you just have to. Just compartmentalize a little more.
Rings of Power was a little.
Shrink it down.
Rings of Power is a little tough.
So I still like the first season.
I mean, like I said, I liked it too.
Fun.
And I keep seeing clips of the second season. I'm like, oh, I want to watch it. But also, now that I know it's canceled, or at least I think, is that confirmed? Dylan, can you look that up? Is Rings of Power canceled?
Yeah, I'd like to know this too. Because
I don't know for sure if it is.
Times,
I have.
I've stopped.
I've been just saying propaganda
the
from
second
people.
Season as well.
Misinformation. Has not been canceled, despite some concerns about viewership declines.
Yeah, fuck you.
Okay, maybe I'll watch season 2 then.
Yeah. I watched like 2 or 3 episodes of it, and it seemed good. I mean, just as good as the first season.
I mean, you'd think $1 billion could get you 3 seasons of a fucking show. So.
I mean, you'd hope so. But I thought that they were just going to cancel it and eat it because people weren't watching it really. And like we talked about, we're pretty big Lord of the Rings fans, and we haven't watched it.
Although, think about like Game of Thrones. I don't think I heard about it till the 3rd season came out, and then I feel like...
Well, we were also kids. That's a little
school.
different.
Yeah, I guess
no,
so.
Not in the beginning. Dylan, can you also look up when Game of Thrones came out? Season 1?
I bet it came out in 2011.
I'm going to guess 2010. That's not high school, though. Is it? Yeah. Freshman year, probably.
Ooh.
Damn, Gavin. Nice.
Fucking 2012 was our freshman year, but I assumed like...
Sure, 13. That's a pretty mature show, Gavin.
Yeah, you shouldn't be seeing people fucking...
So yeah, I guess 3rd season would probably be sophomore year, junior year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, by the time I was a junior, senior,
was our freshman.
season 3 and season 4.
No, 2012.
2012.
Well, it was.
You
You had to have started at 2011.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
literally had
it went 2011
to 2012.
2011, 2012. Yeah, it's 11 to 15. What are you looking up now? Are you gonna look up some graduation pictures?
No.
That would be hilarious. Pull up some. I'm the only one who really looks
Quick
different.
cut.
With hair.
Yeah, show me with hair and actually my beard's short now because I shaved it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different.
Show Cody, no mustache.
Yeah, no
Show
stage.
Gavin.
Yeah, I just looked
No, he got long hair probably somewhere
If
around
you
in
get
there.
me,
true.
Yeah.
if you get me
Super long
junior
hair.
year, I have long hair.
True.
I look identical.
But yeah, go watch Dune Prophecy. Watch Vinland Saga if you like anime. I like it so far. Gavin seems to give it a good recommendation. He's pretty into it.
As like a 20 episode anime, it's really good.
Really good.
Really good.
Wow.
It's like one of those like critically acclaimed ones. I will say if you're actually looking for good anime, freaking Furin's Journey Beyond is probably the best one I've seen.
What did you say?
Furin's
Furin's?
Yeah, Frie.
That's my last name. Friesen.
It's no S.
Oh.
Furin's Journey Beyond. I think it's the best one that's came out in like the last 5-6 years, and also only like 20 episodes.
Blair, have you watched Vinland Saga?
I've watched some.
Oh, really? What do you think?
It's not bad. I've been watching Dr. Stone, man. That shit.
What's that?
Dude, fucking sweet.
So
I've only watched 2 seasons. It's
like one of the
Dr.
smartest shows
Stone?
yeah, he gets
Dr.
stoned.
Stoney.
He gets fucking no.
Wait, really? Okay, I was like, are you serious? I would believe it for some anime shit.
It's like one of the smartest shows.
Yeah, he's like a super smart scientist, and the whole population.
Here we go, back to more anime.
Gets
Fucking hell.
turned to stone, and he pretty much has to recreate technology from the start with like nothing. Like you're in the Stone Age, but you're a super smart scientist. So like, how do you make paper? How do you make fuel? Like he ends up making like microscopes and bombs and.
I don't know how to
flamethrowers.
do a single
I can
thing.
do it.
I could maybe make a fire.
He
I would
makes-
do really well, I think. So,
Really?
yeah.
You look like you do
I
really
would
well.
do really well. I know.
It's pretty cool.
Hey. But yeah, we can wrap it up there. I don't got too much more to say. Do you have anything else you want to say about Dune Prophecy?
No, I'm fucking done.
Damn.
Ooh, I had one question about it.
Yeah, what's your question?
Was there? I feel like Dune the movies did a really well job of making technology that was like super different but fit in the world super well. Like you didn't think like, oh, this seems like really out of space, or like this doesn't make sense, or this or that. Do they have that much technology in this one or not?
That's actually that's a good thing that you brought that up because yeah, they do.
They have,
But the thing is exactly the same as the fucking movies, besides the machines.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's definitely one thing that is like a straight up supercomputer, basically. That
the DNA thing.
Yeah, like the thing that there's tech that they have that they shouldn't. That is, I would think is trying. It's like a sentient AI supercomputer kind of thing.
So one of the coolest things that was so unique. So that was one other thing I want to say. So I got two more things actually. So what's his name? Desmond Hart. Have you seen Vikings?
What is Desmond from? Is that
Vikings?
No, freaking Assassin's Creed. Desmond, is that the?
Can you pull up Desmond Hart from Dune Prophecy real quick? Desmond Miles. So this guy is, I don't know his name, but he's the main actor in the show called Vikings that was literally on like the History Channel or something. Yeah,
that's where I recognize
and his name is Ragnar Lothbrok. So that's him right there.
Yeah, that's where I recognize him.
Nope, that's not him. Nope, Dylan, wrong person. Come on, get back on track. Back on track here. Come on now. Left. That was top left. You were on it.
Left corner.
Nope. Okay. All right, Dylan. We might as well just get out of this now.
I think it was scary. Dylan, can you look up Desmond Assassin's Creed?
No, we're getting way too off topic here. We don't need Desmond Assassin's Creed.
It's the main guy, right? Yeah. Okay. I just.
That was such a waste of time. See, now I lost what I was talking about. This is why I didn't want to go down this fucking path. I need to add
the video game aspects of your podcast into each episode.
What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, he's the actor from Vikings. So the whole time Dylan comes in, and he's like, "Is this Vikings?" And he's like talking about how he's in there, and I was like, he is kind of the same fucking character that he is in Vikings. The way he talks, the way he moves. Dude. Yeah, and that's like how he moves and talks in Vikings too.
Certain actors are all. Jason Momoa, I've never not seen him play the same exact character.
He's just a bro at 24/7.
He's a bro. He's huge. He's buff. He usually fights.
The Rock. Vin Diesel. They're all the same.
Dave Bautista.
Basically, everybody that's been in Fast and Furious.
Anyone who's jacked.
Yeah, everybody in Fast and Furious.
Ooh, Dave Bautista should be in Fast and Furious.
Hold on. So the technology in there, what I was going to talk about with the technology is that you asked if it's like, it does a good job of showing that it's different. It does, but it's the same as the current movies. And this is the thing that I hate in movies where they go back.
Does that make sense, like timeline?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you go back 10,000 years and all the tech feels the same.
Is it 10,000?
10,000. 10,000 years.
Oh, geez.
Over 10,000 years, actually. I think it's like 10,100 and something. So it goes back that far. And it kind of feels like all the text. The giant wormhole ships look the same as the ships in the movies.
Gotcha.
Like what I was talking about. Because you should know what I'm talking about because you've seen the movies.
Just peaked.
Yeah, but also, I don't know.
You
it's
have
just
AI made the most efficient.
No, they got rid of AI.
Well, they had AI, so they had AI to make the cool shit.
But they don't.
Not in this show, but as far as we know, in the current one, it's gone.
I think that's kind of the whole thing with the whole Dune universe is like the more you go further into like, but that doesn't make sense. It's like, but there is probably an answer. Like someone explained it in lore somehow. That
it seems like who wrote the books?
Herbert.
Frank Herbert.
Okay. It seems like a series that's like very well storyline laid out.
It is way ahead of its time. It's what created Star Wars.
Yeah,
basically, because George Lucas has read them and then created it based off of that.
Do you think it could be? Probably not. I was gonna say like Star Wars situation where it's like the prequels they have better technology, but that's because like the freaking Sith blew up all the planets, blah 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 bullshit.
I don't know. No honestly, I didn't even think that hard into the idea of like, it is 10,000 years before, but they're using like pretty much all the same stuff. And it's like, maybe they did just peak.
Yeah.
Like, this is it.
I guess.
But it could kind of make sense is like, what happens when humanity peaks? They just keep quarreling over and over for power distribution, over and over, extinction, reset, get smart again, or maybe extinction, reset, get smart again.
At that point, you're just like a resource battle and not trying to die.
Maybe the Bene Gesserit just keep everybody in line.
It's kind of what it feels like for a lot of the people that in the show. Is like it just feels like everyone's. It's always
everyone is betraying everybody. Nobody has loyalty to anybody. It's crazy.
It does seem weird if they are like making new like powers 10,000 years ago. That like the powers haven't gotten like vastly different in that time.
Well, I think that's the thing is watching the show and knowing the movies to me it feels like. Well,
are they that different?
They're like the Bene Gesserit are that powerful. They're already pulling the strings, and then they now are getting like it feels like a a school of gifted girls is what the sisterhood is.
It feels kind of Hogwarts-esque.
They're picking these people, and then like a lot of them all have these different like unique individual powers. Like there's one girl has that.
Yeah,
and it's like,
and it's horrifying looking.
What
it's a little bit of body horror.
And then very psychologically weird on just the levels of what was happening. There's just a lot.
It was weird.
And that, like, I didn't even know you could do that in the universe. I didn't know that could happen. Like, there's straight up shapeshifters. It's like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of shit happening. One more thing I want to bring up. It's not very much on here, but Dylan? Can you quit fucking around in there? You've been doing that too long.
I swear that one said Dr. Reed.
It doesn't matter. I'm trying to just talk here, and he's bringing up all this shit.
Making me giggle.
That camera, so Ragnar Lothbrok, which is what I'm going to call him, Desmond Hart, when he gives the Weasel Harkonnen dude the little ball, do you remember when he goes in there and he gives him all the information to Ragnar? And that's what ends up leading him to going into the club, I think. Yes. Do you remember seeing what that ball was?
It was, so it's like gold, and then when he picks it up, it turns blue when he's like holding it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know.
Fuck, did that happen in episode? There's no way that happened in episode 6 because that led up to other things.
Yeah,
it's a camera.
Oh, then it has to because I haven't seen the fruition of what that was.
Really?
Yeah.
God, that's crazy. All right, well, never mind then. I guess, but it is really cool. So if you do see it, let me know. But we're gonna wrap up there. Dune Prophecy is dope. Vinland Saga. Go watch it. Gavin's got a strong recommend. Super anime nerd here. So
I just want my friends to watch anime because then I have someone to talk about.
Yeah, but it sucks. It sucks.
Just like One Piece is only 1,200 episodes. Like, just fucking watch it.
How much is Naruto?
No, One Piece is the biggest.
How much is Naruto?
1,000. 800.
God,
700.
That's just
it's weird
fucking
because they have
stupid.
like Naruto, and then they have Naruto Shippuden, and then they have Naruto.
Shippuden my ass.
Or they have Boruto, which is another spinoff, and then they have like 8 movies. It's a whole bunch of bullshit. It's weird though because Naruto has like a bunch of fillers, so like half of it you could just skip and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Appreciate you coming by and dealing with all of our changes. Thanks to Gavin Brubaker for coming in and installing a dishwasher to my house and coming to do the podcast, and Dilly up there on the 1s and 2s doing all that stuff. I know he just popped up there for a second. I think what we do next time, Dylan, is we get the Trap House remix that Grant made, and then I'll have you outro it on there. That would be sick. God. I love that.
You still do that in post.
Yeah. All right. We'll close it out. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.